I'm here in central London at headquarters of Blind Veterans UK. The archivist, Rob Baker, has been in touch with me to tell me about something interesting he's found out. Let's go see what he's got to say.
So, Si, thanks for coming to have a look at some of our archives. I thought some of these might be of interest to you.
Yeah, it's interesting to come, like I say, and find out something new about the organisation and how we're moving forward, but how we're remembering our history too.
Yeah, so this gentleman is Angus Buchanan, who was one of our First World War blind veterans, so back from our early days. And we've got this photo of him here. We've actually got his record here, and this explains he was wounded for the third time, it says, in Mesopotamia in 1917, and he lost his sight after that, essentially.
That's interesting because obviously Mesopotamia is now modern day Iraq, and that kind of gives us a bit of a link really, because I was injured in Iraq myself whilst on a recovery job, getting people out of trouble, so it's interesting that our stories cross over with where our service occurred.
That's right, yes, and Angus was actually awarded the Victoria Cross. He attempted to rescue two of his colleagues who were under fire, so he's described as displaying most conspicuous bravery, and we've actually got the note in the record of the Victoria Cross being conferred by the King in 1917.
So what might have been one of the first things that we did for Angus when he came to us at Regent's Park?
That's right. Well, even before that, when he was in hospital, the very first thing would actually have been to receive one of these lovely items, a Braille watch, as we term them. So a watch with raised dots, the same principle as Braille. We gave these to all the early blind veterans as a first step on their journey.
Well, it's the same principle, because I mean the key to independent living, the first thing you need to know about is to be able to tell what time it is. Everything in life is based around time, especially today. What time to take medication, eating time, meetings, interviews, and obviously blind people rely on public transport, so what time your trains and things are. So I know one of the first things I received was a talking watch, was to give me that first step up, and then it was from that first step that I then developed what I wanted to do myself. We've heard about how Angus went back and read law and created a life for himself. Well, my goal in life was to have a job, was to meaningful employment where I was doing something useful for society. And that's where I feel fortunate now that the training and support I've had from Blind Veterans UK led me to have the skills and qualification to actually now work with the organisation and be part of what we do here. It's people like that inspire me, because I think about not only what he went through in the First World War and how horrific that was, and different to what we go through. And it's really interesting to hear about Angus's victories over blindness. Every fight you put in front of him, he came out on top, and all these years later, his victories over blindness have inspired our victories over blindness, so that I've been able to achieve things and walk away with my head held high because of the work he's done, which now inspires the work I do. And I hope that that will inspire the next generation of people that need support.